It's early in the summer at Varney Farm. Planting in early June kicked off what the Varneys are hoping will be a productive season. For now, the plants are still small, but they're growing into something much bigger. Varney Farm is a privately owned, non-commercial farm located in South Windsor, Connecticut that operates with the help of volunteers. Its sole purpose is to donate fresh produce like zucchini, squash, eggplant, and peppers to Foodshare, the regional food bank serving Greater Hartford. Foodshare partners with local pantries, community kitchens, and shelters to help feed those in need. Before operation with Foodshare began, farm owners Jim and Sandra Varney decided to keep the land cultivated to obtain a farm tax break. They contracted with local farmers who used the field yearly.
Then in 2005, the farmer we had had for several years planted a huge crop of eggplant. Did amazingly well. And he just was picking and picking and picking and picking at the end of the season, and finally had the market kind of tanked out. He'd done enough and told us whatever we wanted was ours and we could give the remainder away to friends. So we did. We called all our friends in. They all came and picked all the eggplant they wanted. We still had more eggplant than we could believe that was still left out there. And finally someone suggested Foodshare, that they would come in and glean what was left. So we called them, and they sent over a group of people one evening, and they came, and in one night they picked 2,000 pounds of eggplant that was going to be plowed under if we hadn't have done that. The following year we kind of tinkered around, but we really didn't get serious about it until 2007. And that's when we really entered into an arrangement with Foodshare and formalized it and got them to supply volunteers and the like. And we've just been increasing ever since, and hopefully this year we'll have even more.
In 2008, the Varney significantly expanded the acreage used for planting and produced over 16,000 pounds of vegetables. In 2009, despite poor weather conditions that caused the loss of many plants, over 18,000 pounds of vegetables were still harvested. And in 2010, over 23,000 pounds of vegetables were produced. All of it was donated to Foodshare. But the Varneys don't want to take all the credit for their success.
This would not be possible without you folks' help. I mean, it's all volunteer help, and we'd like to keep it that way. I can't do it any other way, it's just too much work.
Each summer, the Varneys look forward to seeing the diverse groups of volunteers that come to work on the farm. Out in the fields, individuals, families, town clubs, school groups, church groups, and corporate groups from South Windsor and nearby towns all work together for the betterment of their community.
Grab that one.
Thanks, sir.
We just have an amazing variety of people. I mean, really, literally from, 5 or 6 years old right up into their 80s. My favorite is when the families come. I really like to see the parents instilling this idea of community service with their kids. And when the whole families come week after week and work together, that really makes me happy, because you know that there's a future then.
Out on the farm, Jim Varney oversees operation and instructs the volunteers how to do each job on the field. Throughout the season, volunteers can expect to participate in completing various tasks, such as staking, weeding, fertilizing, harvesting, and bagging vegetables to be brought to Foodshare.
You guys want me to take this?
Yeah. While the volunteers are hard at work, they also socialize and learn about each other and learn about the farming process.
There's a lot of seeds in there. See the seeds?
Yeah.
Now, if you took those seeds and dried them out, use them for next year, planting.
When harvesting season comes around, both volunteers and the Varneys alike look forward to seeing the pickup truck piled with bags of vegetables that they just spent the morning picking.
We love it when we can go in with a truckload of vegetables and get them on the scale, because they weigh everything. And it's like, oh wow, 1,400 pounds today. That's really fantastic. And you think about that, that's, okay, there's 20 eggplant in each bag, and that's 20 families that are going to have something good and healthy to eat that day, And the stuff goes out as fast as it comes in.
It's rewarding to see the physical result of your work at the end of the day. Once the truck is loaded, the Varneys transport the vegetables to either the regional food market or Foodshare in Bloomfield. Foodshare is a non-profit organization that serves more than 128,000 people in the greater Hartford area. It relies on the generous donations of the food industry and also local farms like Varney Farm.
We work with the food industry, food wholesalers and farmers, and take food that would otherwise be thrown away and bring it here to our distribution center.
Nearly 40% of the food received is perishable, such as the vegetables grown by Varney Farm in South Windsor and other gardens in Bloomfield and Simsbury.
Once the produce comes to Foodshare, it is made available to our partner agencies. We work with 300 in Hartford and Talent County. And there are a couple ways that it works. One, the agencies can come here to our distribution center in Bloomfield and pick up the produce. Another way is we have something called mobile Foodshare, where we load converted beverage trucks, take them to high poverty, low income areas. They're loaded with fresh fruits and vegetables, and working with a partner agency, the food is distributed to people in line, and we get the fresh fruits and vegetables in people's hands as quickly as possible.
Foodshare works diligently to send out approximately 16 tons of food a day. With just 48 members on staff, the organization requires the help of its 3,000 volunteers to make all this happen. This spirit of volunteerism is fostered both at Foodshare and Varney Farm.
It's also another way to engage the community through volunteer work.
To make people aware of the need that's out there.
To understand some of the challenges people face in getting food on the table.
My parents were always involved with the community. I was just kind of always aware of that. You don't just live in your own little bubble. You know, everybody's part of something larger, and we all need to work together to help that.
John Whedon and the Varneys encourage lending a hand at the farm to whatever extent you feel comfortable. Just come prepared in clothes that you don't mind getting dirty. Sandy Varney says she would especially like to see more teenagers help out.
I know it's not a very glamorous thing to do when we're out here and we're getting all sweaty and dirty and we're not dressed attractively, but you're doing something for someone else, and there's no greater thing in the world than to be able to help people who need help.
The Varneys plan on continuing to manage the farm for years to come. Sandy Varney is already thinking about the next steps she can take with her work with the farm.
In communities like mine, which was originally, an agricultural community, even though now it's a suburb, and I see so many of these small farms that are just fallow now, and I wonder, are there other farmers who have retired who can't do the work to run a commercial farm anymore, who maybe could do exactly what we're doing, supervise a work effort, put some money into it, you get it back in taxes, and get more. If we had more volunteers, there could be dozens of farms like this, and we could be providing all this food to the people who really need it. But somebody needs to, look at that on a bigger picture. I mean, I kind of hope that when the time comes for me to retire, I've thought that maybe that's something I could try to put together as a group of local people, retired farmers who maybe might want to do this. But it all depends on volunteers. If we don't have volunteers, then we can't do it. We just can't do it.
If the day does come when the Varneys can't manage the farm anymore, they hope to have Foodshare find someone else who can manage it for them and continue to operate the farm as it is today.